Yo, gentle people, Wagwan Sanji Uchiha here, your friendly neighborhood Uchiha, and welcome back to the channel. Of course, this video may or may not be finding you after the, let me see, episode 178 of the Boruto anime. What's the Boruto episode number? For real. Today is the 12th of December. Anyway, yeah, I'm recording this on Saturday night, so hope this finds you in good faith. But of course, as you can tell, tonight we have, or whenever you listen to this, whatever. Yo, we have another interesting Boruto discussion, right? Now, of course, two things. Time and time again, I keep saying that we're inching closer and closer to the Boruto time skip. And if we're still on course for the story being 28 volumes for the manga, then we are still more or less close to the time skip, or closer than ever before. That and the fact that, taking into consideration, last week I did a video on, the top, our favorite Boruto characters, to say the least, quote unquote. I think it's only fair that we start discussing some major improvements that we want to see after the time skip, if the time allows it, if Kishimoto can, factor it in, or if there's a change in how long he wants the series to be. So without further ado, as you can tell, tonight we'll be discussing our favorite leader, our favorite captain, favorite sensei, Konohamaru, Trashamaru, disappointment, whatever you want to call him. Yo, alright, so I'm not gonna lie, it's been a topic of, I wouldn't say debate, but it's been a topic within the Boruto franchise, to say the least. I've said my piece on it, you said your piece on it, but Konohamaru has not been the best of the best when it comes on to, your favorite Boruto characters, to say the least. And honestly, I kind of went, in depth on that again, based on that same video that I referenced, where I talked about the most disappointing characters in the Boruto franchise, well, story. Specifically the three characters: Sasuke, Urashiki, and Konohamaru. But that's not to say things can't improve. And despite how I personally feel about Konohamaru, and I feel like he isn't really living up to, what I think he should be, there's still room for improvement, there's still time. And I want to see him to be one of those narrative, those story elements that actually improves for the time skip. But now it comes to reason, or the question becomes, what would I want to see Kishimoto do with Konohamaru's character? And just taking a page out of that same video that I talked about, most disappointing characters, I honestly just want the charm and presence of Konohamaru's character to come back, because to me, that forms the basis of what I find disappointing about him in the Boruto era. Honestly, despite people calling him trash, he's still relatively competent in terms like fighting ability, skills, he's a jonin, etc. But I think, as I've stated time and time again, he's become more of a bland, slate, a bland character. That character that was the quote-unquote rival of Naruto, who was going to become Hokage, who, took out a body of pain. That same charm to his character isn't there anymore, if you ask me. And of course, I'm not a writer, I'm not a, I don't know, literature major, teacher, or whatever the case may be, but I think when something resonates with me on an emotional or visceral, I believe that's the term, level, when it comes on to, watching all these different anime or reading all these different manga, whatever the case may be, I just don't get that reaction anymore from Konohamaru's character, honestly. And apart from charm, I think the best way to probably accomplish this is to have, I wouldn't want to go as far to say like an arc centered around Konohamaru, but maybe we can take a page out of what usually works for the new generation characters, who also more or less fall into the same category of not, person just not caring about them like that. And it's to probably play Konohamaru off Naruto, if he's going to be around, or use the potential exit of Naruto from the story, whether permanently or temporarily, to actually push Konohamaru's character. Similar to how I feel Naruto's exit can push, or will push, Boruto's character, it should by extension push Konohamaru's character, and probably the reactions we can possibly see the writer, well, in this case Kishimoto, can actually facilitate for him in response to Naruto exiting the story, I think that might be the push that Konohamaru needs to, you know, bring back the charm of the CM. Because I was gonna say maybe do an arc centered around him, but on a real, maybe there won't be enough time, or at least probably persons probably not. Okay, I'm kind of getting tongue twisted here. Yeah, I know, even though it's not in Shonen Jump, I would imagine that Rita and the demographic and the main, you know, target audience still has influence over, you know, what would potentially happen in the story. So I don't know if centering an arc around Konohamaru would be the best option, but at least let's play him off the old generation of characters, or persons who are in, you know, Konohamaru's generation, and let's see if we can push something for Konohamaru's character going forward. Because honestly, if you really think about it, and let's get this straight as well, guys, more than likely there will be some more, you know, dependence, or, you know, the general depending on the Boruto anime to flesh out and give more screen time and development to Konohamaru. But when I say like doing something to push Konohamaru's character back into the positive spotlight, I'm talking about specifically with the Boruto manga, because honestly to me that's always that's tied with a sense of progression. And what I mean by that is that, of course, I mentioned this in last week's Boruto anime reaction and review, that even though I love what I was seeing with, like, say, Inojin and Ino, at the end of the day, I feel to get a lot of these Boruto characters that persons may or may not care about, to actually, you know, make people care about them, they have to be tied to the main plot, the main happenings in the story, which of course is going to help tie them to a sense of progression with their character all the same. Granted, I could be talking foolishness, maybe. Who knows, but I feel like one or two persons might get what I'm saying. So I feel that's the case. And if you really think about it, Konohamaru has been absent from the manga for over a year now, when you really think about it. We're at chapter, what, 50? Next week or this coming week? Yeah, December's chapter is going to be chapter 53. Oh shit. And the last time we saw Konohamaru was what, chapter 24, 25, 23, around that region, the end of the O arc, or the vessel arc as they're calling it in the anime. And that's over 2 years when you really mids it. So honestly, I'm hoping Kishimoto can do something to bring back Konohamaru's character to relevance within the Boruto manga, because yes, there's the anime to depend on, yes, there's all these novels and everything, but the average viewer, including me, aren't going to be, especially in the case of novels, aren't going to be reaching for the novels to say, oh, okay, there's, you know, Konohamaru, he's getting spotlight here. It has to be in the main story. Konohamaru has to return to the main story to at least allow his character to gain back some momentum, if not improve him from where he is now, because right now there's no momentum to his character, I feel. So yeah, there's that. And again, I've said it before, it's not that I want Konohamaru to necessarily be Kakashi, but I think he can command probably the same type of presence without necessarily being a ripoff of, you know, Team 7, that Kakashi vibe, you know what I mean? So that's really and truly it. And Konohamaru is just one of the few things that necessarily need to be addressed going into the time skip, or once the time skip starts. So again, it probably might come back to the fact that maybe Kishimoto and Ikimoto, they need to extend the Boruto manga beyond the planned 28 volumes to facilitate all of these things. Because yes, I feel like I'm rambling on now, but yes, things are corporate and there will be dependence on a lot of the different, you know, sections of the Boruto franchise, whether it be anime, manga, novel, game, whatever. Yeah, and we kind of we're overdue for a Boruto game. That, just putting that out there. But yeah, main story, sense of progression. Let's tie Konohamaru's character to a sense of progression, bring him back into the story, bring him back to relevance within the time skip. Once the time skip comes, of course, let's bring back the charm to his character. Not necessarily saying to base an arc around him, but at least let's, you know, bring back some momentum, some love, some charm to his character. If it's even to play him off or use Naruto's potential exit from the story to push his character and Boruto's character, and let's tie it to, you know, moving forward in the story in some shape or form. So that's the basic thing what me I say. Yes me. So just that. But anyway, I think I've rambled on long enough. Hope this video finds you guys in good spirits, hopefully, or if you're not in good spirits, just, you know, get little, you know, probably some juice, if you know what I mean, and just drink up for tonight. You see me? Saturday night. I'm hungry. Anyway. Hope you guys are doing great. Of course, if you're new here, be sure to, you know, subscribe if you've made it this far. Again, respect for tuning in. I'll see you guys for tomorrow's Boruto live reaction and review. Of course, if you haven't seen my Yashahime review and reaction for today's episode, you can definitely check that out. It'll probably be here in the end screen, one of the two, something. So yeah, this has been your friendly neighborhood Uchiha, and I'll see you in the next video.